control when it's bought and sold. I know that our lives are at stake, yours and mine, descendants in time. So much to gain, so much to lose. I'd say every one of us has to choose. Just give me the warm power of the sun. Give me the comfort of the fire. Give me the spirit of everything they return to claim. Just give me the restless power of the wind, the wind. Give me the comforting glow of the wood fire. But please take all your atomic poison power. Please take all your atomic poison power. Please take all your atomic poison power away. Just give me the warm power of the sun. Give me the steady flow of the waterfall. The spirit of living things, they return to claim. Just give me the restless power of the wind. Give me the comforting glow of the wood fire. But please take all your atomic poison power. Please take all your atomic poison power. Please take all your atomic poison power away. Thank you, John Hall. Thank you, thank you. There we go.
Thank you, Anthony and Bud. Next, I will invite one of the members of Manhattan Project for a Nuclear-Free World. He is helping us a very creative Facebook and website. If you visit there, you understand how he is talented, and he has a message to you. So, Tony Sahara is here.
Hi, I didn't make the introduction, but I'm Tony Sahara. I'm part of the organizer, and I have a quick notes. So this is an anti-nuclear activist in Fukushima, Japan. She was battling cancer, but sadly, she passed away last week. And I'd like to dedicate today's event to her, Yayoi Hitomi. And if you scan this QR code, you get to see the YouTube video. So that, I mean, I don't really know her. I've never met her actually, and chances are we all don't know her, but we are all here for the same cause. So I'd like you to watch her video so that her message can still stay alive. And also another news. So we are opposing the discharge of radioactive water, but the thing is, the crippled nuclear power plants has been leaking past 10 years. So it's been going on. So I just want to remind you all of that. And And Eastern Japan is still radioactive. Tens of thousands of people are still displaced. But there are a bunch of citizen scientists measuring the soil all over Japan. And here's the booklet. And if you like a copy of this, I have some copies of it. So please come to me. Yeah, that's the booklet. So yeah, still the issue is ongoing. They have nuclear emergency declaration, and this hasn't been lifted past 10 years. And on top of that, they had COVID-19 emergency situation, and still they somehow had the Olympic Games, and it's just unheard of. Anyway, thank you all for joining this event, and here's the next speaker. Thank you.
I'm going to be doing a song at the end of the program. Can I get a copy of the song?
Now I want to introduce you youth from Pacific Island. Her name is Sophia Kaledi. She is an intern of Nuclear Age Peace Foundation. She will be presenting the view of Pacific Islanders from the RTT video at the rally. She will explain what RTT is too.
Hi everyone. First, I just want to clarify that I'm not from the Pacific Islands. I am representing them today. I'm also with RTT, Reverse the Trend. So here it is. My name is Sophia Kaledi, and I'm an intern with Reverse the Trend, Save Our People, Save Our Planet. Reverse the Trend amplifies the voices of the youth, primarily coming from frontline communities who have been directly affected by nuclear weapons and climate change. I come before you today having listened to the recorded concerns of my fellow colleagues at RTT Pacific, youth who are living in the Pacific Islands. Their concern for the impacts of nuclear energy comes out of fear for their very way of life. For Marisha Jones, Manulu Isa Pahulu, Kevin Ishgaray, Claire Bortimore, and thousands of others in the Pacific Islands, this is not a faraway threat. It is a present reality. They strongly oppose Japan's decision to release 1.25 million tons of nuclear wastewater in the Pacific Ocean. This is absolutely detrimental for the Pacific Ocean and thus for all of us. The displacement of entire communities because of consequently uninhabitable islands cannot be overlooked as it has been in the past. The history of nuclear testing and dumping has had a large negative impact on the surrounding oceans. The people of the Pacific Islands rely on the ocean for transportation, sustenance, economic development, and their cultural identity. An attack on the oceans is an attack on the way of life for the people living in the Pacific Islands. The Pacific Ocean connects us, and radioactive substances not only affect the people whose lives are dependent on marine life, but the marine life that depends on us to protect it. I now want to call your attention to Reverse the Trend's Youth Committee Declaration on Crisis of Nuclear Dumping in Blue Pacific. My colleague will be passing that out. They want to say that we, as members of RTC's Pacific Youth Committee, 1, call attention to Japan's decision to release contaminated radioactive water. 2, express great disappointment at the many industrialized nations who have carelessly disregarded the imminent threats that continue to affect our Pacific region. 3, remind global leaders about the need to shift their priorities and embrace a multilateral approach in international security and peace affairs. 4, demand resistance from nations on Japan's regrettable intentions. 5, urge the international community to provide a seat for Pacific youth and thereby uplifting their voices. And 6, call on the leaders of the Pacific to strongly oppose Japan's set timeline for the discharge and to consider with urgency and through international consultations, international law, and independent and verifiable scientific assessments, the impacts that this discharge of contaminated water will have on their people, places, and prospects. If there is one thing that the pandemic has taught us, it is that our actions profoundly affect one another. We are all connected. We are all one. As Manulu Issa, a student from the nation of Tonga once said, the Pacific Ocean connects us, each and every one of us. If it affects one, then it affects all. Thank you.
Next song is Ban Nuclear Power. The singer Charlene Leahy is a singer-songwriter and performer known for sharing lyrics delivered with sensitivity and passion. She has been an anti-nuclear activist since 1979 when she founded the Cypress Alliance, a grassroots anti-nuclear power alliance based in Orlando, Florida. Charlene is currently based in central New Jersey, where she writes and performs songs for peace, human rights, and earth justice.
There's 3 words that are the title of this song that it's also your part. The words are ban nuclear power. I've got an idea to heal this planet. I've got an idea to heal this planet. I've got an idea to heal this planet. Help me out. Ban nuclear power. Ban nuclear power. Ban nuclear power. What are we gonna tell our children? What are we gonna tell our children? What are we gonna tell our children? Ban nuclear power. Ban nuclear power. Ban nuclear power. Let's protect this earth, it's our only salvation. Let's think of tomorrow, future generations, not just ours, but all of creation's. It's time to reveal what is real. It's time to heal. What are we gonna tell the people? What are we gonna tell the people? What are we gonna tell the people? Everybody, ban nuclear power. Ban nuclear power. Ban nuclear power. When are we gonna push away sadness? When are we gonna learn to share gladness? When are we gonna end all this madness? When are we gonna be free? You and me. Free from this insanity. We've got an idea to heal this planet. We've got an idea to heal this planet. We've got an idea to heal this planet. Everybody, ban nuclear power. No more Fukushimas. Ban nuclear power.
Everyone who is working for peace knows Sally Jones. She is calm, but has a strong passion for making the world peaceful. She is a chair of Peace Action New York State. Here's Sally.
All right. Take this off. Yeah, what a wonderful program. And let's just give a big clap for June Tano and her inspiration that brought us all here. Thank you all for coming to the Protect Oceans, Our Oceans rally and helping to amplify opposition to dumping radioactive wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear plants into the Pacific Ocean. You are here as water protectors, just like the Standing Rock water protectors protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline in 2016. You are here because you understand that after all that the people of Fukushima have been through since the horrific March 2011 earthquake and tsunami that killed 19,000 people and melted down 3 of the 6 Fukushima nuclear reactors, the people should not be subjected to more radioactive exposure. You are here because you understand that the residents of the only country in the world that experience not just 1, but 2 nuclear weapons attacks should not be subjected to more radioactive exposure. You are here because you know that there is a lack of trust around how governments, corporations, and agencies, including the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, have handled radioactive and toxic exposure in Japan and around the world. Many of you have stories to tell about how you were told there was nothing to worry about and then found out the bad news. We're here in New York City, still dealing with the toxic effects of the collapse of the World Trade Center towers. This year, the Indian Point nuclear power station finally closed. It had been dumping heated water, hopefully not radioactive, into the Hudson River, killing fish for almost 60 years. I live 4 miles from where the Belgian Congo uranium for the Manhattan Project was stored under the Bayonne Bridge from 1939 to 1942 and caused contamination of soil and the waters of the Kilvan Cove for the last 80 years. The close relationships between governments, the nuclear industry, and the IAEA can only be described as collusion. As Bhaskar Tunkak, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Toxics and Human Rights, said about the communities of Fukushima, it is their human right to not be exposed deliberately to additional radioactive contamination. This is a human rights issue. So how do we change the Fukushima radioactive wastewater dumping plan to something that respects human rights? Let me suggest 3 actions. Number 1, press for alternatives to the TEPCO plan. Greenpeace Japan says that TEPCO wants to do the ocean dumping because it is the cheapest solution, instead of expanding storage of the radioactive wastewater and looking for ways to slow the creation of more wastewater. Number 2, and you've done it, sign a letter to President Biden asking him to instruct his special presidential envoy for climate, John Kerry, to raise the issue in the upcoming COP26 conference that will take place from November 1st to the 12th in Glasgow, Scotland. We have letters for you to sign here. I think, has everybody signed the letter? Yes. All right. You can take copies. We have extra copies, and maybe you go to a meeting and get some more copies. Finally, fight for a nuclear-free world by joining an anti-nuke group that supports the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons and the shutting down of nuclear power plants. Support all the groups that have co-sponsored this rally, and I know June has them, and I think they're on Tony's flyer. Please support them all. Make your own if you have to, but get into an anti-nuke rally. No more Hiroshimas, no more Nagasaki's, no more Fukushimas.
Thank you very much. A lawyer and co-founder of Manhattan Project for a Nuclear-Free World, Mari Inoue, could not join us today, so we cannot listen to her closing remarks. Instead, she sent us a message to visit our website and Facebook. Just recently, we uploaded on YouTube the messages from students of Pacific Islands, Japanese people from Fukushima, and a doctor in Oregon. There is so much information there, including the open letter sent to Japanese missions in New York on June 5th. After seeing those, you will find why we gather together here for protect our ocean. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your positive energy gave us message. Never give up and hand over the beautiful planet to our next generations. Protect our ocean. Oh, thank you. Please come up for group picture.
Can we get a group picture over here on the stage? Everybody other end for a
So
group.
everybody, can you all come get closer? We have, Ellen would like to take a group picture of everybody here, showing the power. She always forces us to do this.
I'll try, and if not, I'll see if I can archive. I'm just trying to save the video.
Thank Rise and Resist for shepherding.
Come on, get in.
All right,
Everybody get in the photo, and I'll share my photos with everyone. So please, everybody get in. Where are we supposed to be?
On the step.
You're in the front because you're small.
Come in for a group photo.
All people in the front. Steps. Come on in. Okay, if you can't see me, you're not in the shot. So make sure that you can see me. And also, if you could please focus and look at me so we're all looking in the same direction, very focused on protecting the oceans. So make sure that you can see me. Everybody look at me.
Okay.
Look at here.
Looking at me. Oh, G-Man, you look beautiful. Oh, this is a really gorgeous shot. Okay, keep looking, keep looking.
Okay,
Beautiful,
yeah,
thank you.
look at another side, another side. Another side.
All right, one rare shot.
You look so wonderful.
Thank you.
chairs are already back.
Looks like Japanese. Oh, right. Actually, I cannot recognize. I never can recognize the Japanese Korean. What?